Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. Woo! Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Yay!
Great. So happy to be here.
Awesome. It is such an honor to have all of you guys here. So I don't butcher any of your guys' names. Please feel free to take a moment now to introduce yourselves, who you are, and what part you had to play in the show. Rebecca, we will start with you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Sugar. I'm the creator of the show. I ran the show during its run and the movie. And I'm so thrilled to be reunited with so many amazing members of the cast who I missed so terribly. And I'll throw it to Dee Dee.
Hi, I'm Dee Dee, and I'm so happy to be here. I voiced Pearl. Pearl.
That's so unfair. I don't know. I don't know if we're all.
You could go left to right. Yeah.
I'm Lo. I play Ruby.
Woohoo! Hey, Lo. I'm Susan. I play Rose and Pink. Thank you.
Oh, hi. I'm Tom. I was Greg, and I still am Greg, I guess.
You'll never not be Greg to me. I'm Michaela, and Amethyst for life, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Get it.
Hi, I'm Larissa. I played Bluebird Azurite in Steven Universe Future. And a little bit like them, she, who pops up in the middle of where you least expect it. I get to join these amazing people on this call. So thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It is an absolute pleasure. Well, I hope you guys are excited. We've got some really fun questions, some just from myself, as well as a handful of fan questions that were collected. So yeah, we will get the ball rolling with Rebecca. The first question is going to be that there were so many lovely messages in Steven Universe. Which one of those messages do you hope viewers keep with them the most?
Gosh. I think the thing that I really learned from making the show, which was a arduous lesson to learn, was to trust myself as an artist, but also trust myself as the person who knows the most about who I am. I was on really shaky ground with that when I started the show in my early 20s, and over the course of making it, I really learned that I had to be true to the art I wanted to make. And I feel that was reflected in the story and the characters as well, as they discovered who they were. So I hope watching it feels, it encourages whoever is receiving that message to have that trust in who you know that you are, even in the face of infinite other people trying to tell you who you are. They'll never know more than you.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's really, really cool. And you know what, though? I do think your show does that very well. So, yeah, kudos for that. Awesome. Okay, Dee Dee, we're going to move on to you. For your question, Pearl had grown and changed so much during the show, which actually kind of touched bases with exactly what Rebecca was just talking about. How did it feel playing her during the first few episodes versus the last few?
Oh, wow. Well, there was no way for me to know the trajectory of Pearl and her journey when I first started voicing Pearl. I really heavily relied on Rebecca and the Crewniverse to know how to voice Pearl. I noticed that because we just talked about the pilot before we jumped on, and I noticed if I were to listen side by side to what Pearl sounded like in the pilot and what she ended up sounding like at the end of the series and the movie and the what did we call that? The future, the Steven Universe future shorts. I felt like she along with her character growth, also vocally, she just got so much more overly exaggerated. I think my voice was like it was like it was my voice, but it was still like, wow, she just really went there, emotional, all the feels Pearl was feeling. And you know, hopefully I executed the you know, what was asked of me uh direction wise. But what a blast to play Pearl, and just to see the growth in her character and all of the emotional, all the emotional things I got to play playing her. That was really, as an actor, was so much fun, such a challenge, and just a lot of fun. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be here.
Aw. We're grateful to have you here. So thank you so much. That was a really lovely answer. Okay, we're gonna move on to Michaela. Hi. So Amethyst is usually silly and chaotic. Was there anything you pulled from when you recorded her more emotional moments?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean the chaotic part was pretty easy to tap into. Yeah, I I mean, some of her more emotional moments certainly stem from figuring out her origins, and you know, for example, when she traveled back to the kindergarten, and as many of you know probably already, I'm adopted, and so I definitely I'm a transracial, transnational adoptee, and so it's funny. I actually was searching for my biological family at the same time that I recorded the episode where I went back to the kindergarten, and I asked Rebecca, because Rebecca knew, but I asked her, I'm like, did the writers know? And she's like, no. And how serendipitous that it all kind of aligned. So yeah, I mean, that was definitely like an easy well to tap, I would say. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the growth that Amethyst had over, you know, the course of the series and then the movie and through the future, I really, I think it parallels so nicely our relationship with each other. Certainly, like Dee Dee and my relationship really strengthened off screen as it did on screen between Pearl and Amethyst. And so yeah, I also feel so grateful to have had, you know, so many new friends throughout this process, and to have learned so much from Reba. I don't know why I've been calling you Reba. It's so weird, but your name's Rebecca. Sorry. Reba. Okay.
Wow, that's incredible though. Like what an incredible coincidence, you know? That's wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, really, really cool. That was a crazy answer. Okay, we're going to do an all question now, so we can do the same left to right thing if you guys would like. The question is actually, Rebecca, this you could pick your character for this one, but the question is, if you could hang out with your character for one day, what would you do?
With my with one of the show characters?
Yeah, so you could pick a character, whoever you'd like.
I love spending time with everybody on this call, so it's like impossible to answer, especially because so many of the, like, as we all got to know each other, the characters all became so much more like the people who played them. So yeah, it's I think gosh, well, the central character of Stephen is based off of my younger brother Stephen. So in terms of a character who is also a person, spending time with my brother is still something that's really important to me. It was really challenging, like through COVID, you know, we couldn't spend time together, even though we lived 10 minutes away, and that was so hard. And yeah, I'm always trying to make sure that I get to see him. But I love spending time. I love spending time with everybody I worked on the show with, and everybody who played the characters on the show. So yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay, so maybe you could throw a party and just invite everyone, and then
That was
Hey.
another thing. We never got to have a rap party because of COVID, which was one of the saddest because we were together for 8 years. And since then everything has changed. So that's something I think we still need to figure out how to do. But yeah, I'd love to. I think if I were to spend time with the character that is sort of the most me character, that would certainly be Ruby, because that's sort of my
Love it.
my self-insert character in the show. I love spending time with Lo. And yeah, this is I need to be stopped because I'll go through everybody.
No worries. That was a great answer. Yeah, we will have to like set you up a guys like a group party for sure. Also, I have just been notified we are being joined by somebody else right now.
Yay.
Awesome. Oh, we have Estelle.
Hello, what's happening, folks? How you feeling?
We're doing great. How are you doing? You look lovely.
Oh, thank you. I think it's the yellow.
It all comes together. You're glowing. Your hair's glowing. It's beautiful. Well,
Thank
yes,
you, baby.
everybody for who is watching live, we have been joined with Estelle, also known as the voice of Garnet. So we are currently answering an all question, but we did pass yours while we were waiting for your arrival. Would you guys be okay if I asked Estelle her question and then we got back to the all question? Yeah, cool. All right, so we're just throwing you into it.
Okay.
First question for you was Garnet is such an iconic character. Did you know she was a fusion from the beginning? If not, what was your reaction when you found out?
I did not. I just knew that she was like
Ooh.
the big grown that took care of the gems, like with Pearl and Amethyst, and I had no clue. I found out in real time with you guys. Well, real time with the cast as I was doing the voiceovers. I can't remember who was in the room or if I did it by myself, but I remember being like, "Oh, okay, wait, okay." Every time I read a line, I was like, "Oh, okay, wait, no, okay." Like the Garden, like it was like a shock and then oh yeah, okay, I have to be, every time. But it was, it's been an honor and a pleasure to play that role. I feel special. I feel chosen. I'm quite grateful.
Aww. Oh, you played Garnet beautifully, by the way. Like Garnet was my favorite character, so it's like super cool to have you here, and I just think you did an amazing job with her.
Rebecca told me I didn't have to do too much. She was like, "Yeah, be sarcastic." I was like, I have a sense of humor. I get it. Yeah.
Well, Rebecca, I think you guys casted perfectly. Like their personalities definitely shine through the characters for sure. It's an excellent job there. Okay, so we'll go back to the all question. We were on Dee Dee, and the question was, if you could hang out with your character for one day, what would you do? And we're just kind of doing the left to right thing. So Dee Dee was next.
Okay. I think I would do like Tybo with Garnet, and I think I would go get French fries with Steven, and probably karaoke and dance party with Amethyst.
Love that. It sounds like a really fun day.
Yeah.
How about you, Lo?
When I was little, when I was like in kindergarten, I was really angry and I didn't know how to express it. And I remember at recess, I would try to spit on a tree and try to cover it with my spit. So I would ask Ruby if they wanted to go spit on a tree. Like, oh man, that was a good time. Yeah. Want a high five? Yeah, let's hug too. Okay, cool.
Oh my gosh.
So a lot of wrestling, hugging, punching pillows, hugging, a lot. You know, I have some friends who are wrestlers, and I asked them, comedians are the mediators of the families. What are wrestlers? And I was like, do they just really like want hugs? And he was like, oh yeah. I was like, I feel that. Our wrestler part, retired comedian. So spitting on things and hugging.
I feel like a lot of the fan artists are going to have a good time with that one. You'll probably see some stuff now online after that.
Yeah.
That's great. Estelle, how about you? What would you do with Garnet?
Oh, I would sit her down and demand to know all the future that she knows. Don't lie to me. I know you know things. tell me them all. Like I would ask all of the questions that Stephen asked, but be like, but I'm in your brain, so like I know you. Like no, I would, yeah, that'd be fun. And then also like I would just like I would ask to borrow her future vision goggles and just like that's what I would be obsessed with. I just want to know what's gonna happen. Like I would just, yeah, I would do that. Like
Valid.
tell me the things.
All 500 outcomes, all of them.
All of them. Yeah.
I
Completely
love
confuse
that.
me. Go with it. Go. Yeah.
That's great. Tom, how about you? What do you think you and Greg would get up to?
Oh, I think we'd probably just drive around and eat and listen to records
Right on.
and maybe go eat more and maybe end up bowling or something.
Oh, yeah. That's a good time.
Sounds like a great time. He'll play the universe song to you so that you can be inspired.
Hmm.
That's great. Michaela, how about you? What do you think you and Amethyst would get up to?
I mean, we definitely eat some trash. I feel like, but also some quality food. I feel like we'd probably do like hit up like San Gabriel Valley, do some, bang bangs, like just get like meal after meal, maybe buy an illegal turtle. Probably not, actually, that's not funny. We probably do, yeah, it sounds like we might go hit up Ruby to like spit at some trees. That sounds up her alley. Maybe take in some underground wrestling. Like, I don't know. I feel like Amethyst is like very intensely chill. And I feel like we could do a great many things together.
Yeah,
And be
I can see
very
that.
intense, but chill about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
intensely chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, Larissa, how about you?
So I think going from intensely chill to intensely chaotic, and then I'm like, do I also get to hang out with Ruby and Aquamarine as well? Is like that part of the deal? I'm not really sure.
That's up to them if they would want to defuse.
If they would even want it, but
yeah.
I think I actually want to go the opposite way and say, because Bluebird is so chaotic, I want to kind of bring it down, and I want to go with them like on a big lawn on the beach somewhere with like Lion. I want to ride Lion. That's what I always wanted to do. When I saw that scene, I was like, I want to do that. So I want Bluebird with her swords on the back down the beach.
Ooh, that's nice. That's a good one. Okay. And Susan, what would you be doing with
Yeah, I'm a little bit with Larissa where I want to kind of go the opposite. I want to go into Rose's room and seriously unpack. I think I would need Pearl with me because I think Pearl could really Marie Kondo that situation. And we could kind of get some of those thought patterns organized. And then I think I have to throw on a universe t-shirt and like hit the music festivals with Greg.
Valid, 100%.
Yeah.
Maybe he could drive you there.
Totally.
If he could stop.
That van rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
I think I misunderstood the question. I think I misunderstood. I didn't know I would be hanging out with Pearl. If I was hanging out with Pearl, then yes, I would be doing probably laundry, spring, winter, summer, fall cleaning.
Some interior decorating, maybe. Just get
Definitely Marie Kondoing the whole universe.
Beautiful. Those are some fantastic answers, you guys. That's great. Okay, we're gonna go back to some individual questions. We're gonna move on with Susan. So Rose turned out to be a very complex character. As the story progressed and more about her was revealed, did your approach to voicing her change at all?
What's so great about this, and like I can't sing the praises of Rebecca enough, the fact that she had all of this in her head, and all of us we were learning this, like Estelle was saying, as the scripts came out. So Rose, yeah, I mean, I got some hate comments when it was revealed that she was pink, and I loved that because it told you how engaged the fandom was. I was pretty shocked. I was shocked, just as shocked as all of you. But what I loved about the voicing of it was that she was aging in reverse. So Rose was somebody who was a little bit more wise, flawed, very flawed. But then to go and voice Pink towards the end of things, to be sort of petulant and childish and immature, was really interesting. And thank goodness for Rebecca there to sort of help guide.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, you guys, all of you guys have nailed your characters so well, even through all the changes and everything. It's been an amazing journey to watch it happen. You guys did great. And Rebecca, excellent work writing the stories. Yeah. Okay, awesome. We're gonna move on with Lo now. Ruby is adorable, and we got to meet so many different versions of her. Other than Garnet's Ruby, which one was your favorite to play and why?
I was like, what's the? Navy. I was like, I'm bad at names. My ASD was like, I was like, oh yeah, that's like fun to be like, oh, like about everything. Like I was like almost just like hand me up. You know when you like order something at the drive-in, you become that. Like, oh yeah, can I get some fries and some ranch dressing, please? You know, I don't know. That one's really fun to play up. I don't really know why. It felt good. I think after accessing Ruby, I didn't know how angry I was in my life as like an Asian person perceived as a woman. It's like hard to hold space for that anger in the world and how it's received. So it felt like a really good outlet. And then doing Navy, I was like, oh, it's almost like taking up all the people pleaser part of you and then just like shifting it in your throat and being like, like making fun of who you become because of that and like how to use that. I don't know if I answered this question well, but
you did.
I had a blast. It was cute to be like, yeah, I love dirt and all this other stuff. Yeah.
That was a fantastic answer. I think that's great. It definitely makes sense. So Navy was a great character. Totally get it. Okay, next question is gonna be for Tom. Greg is an eccentric but loving father. What was your favorite part about playing him, and do you have a favorite scene you recorded as him?
Well, just getting to do Greg was so much fun because it was like, it's not me, but I guess it's more me than I thought it was the whole time. And yeah, it's just getting to do it was great, and getting to really just figure out how to do, because I had never done voice stuff before this, so I went in completely new to it, to where like a script would say Walla Walla, which is you're supposed to just go, but I thought I was supposed to say the words Walla Walla, and everybody laughed at me. And so I knew literally nothing about proper voice acting. So I got to really try and work at it. And it was a very satisfying thing to get to try to just get better at it. And yeah, I mean, look, anything from I think Mr. Greg would be the big one for me, was in terms of being a memorable episode. So yeah, it was just the best. It was the best time. So
oh, that's really sweet. That's cool. Also, I want to say apologies. I totally forgot that Ruby refers to they, them as well. So quick correction on my part. Okay, Larissa, we've got a question for you. Bluebird Azurite is quite the little menace. Did you listen to the individual character voices behind Aquamarine and Ruby separately to inspire her voice, or their voice, and was it something you just came up with?
No, definitely. It did say in the script breakdown that they were Cockney, but then it was obvious listening to the two actors who played Ruby and Aquamarine, Lo, and I'm losing the name of Aquamarine. But yeah, so it was kind of like try to fuse their voices together, as much as possible to make it seem like it came from the same character. And hopefully that worked. So, but it was already, I mean, obviously Rebecca had already ascertained that that would work well, being the mix between the two of having that kind of, you know, the little refined British accent with the American accent mashed together. So yes, a little bit of me, a little bit of everyone else.
That's awesome. Yeah, you did it well. Bluebird it was so fun to watch. Okay, we're gonna do another all question. Where do you think your character is now, and what are they doing? And poor Rebecca, you can answer this however you'd like.
Well, yeah. I think I have to throw this to the cast. I mean, I do. I feel like I do know kind of what the characters are up to, post, you know, after the show. But I feel like I can't. I shouldn't say because it's too canonical. So I'm gonna throw it to everybody.
Ooh, okay, interesting. All right, Dee Dee, then go ahead.
I don't know what canonical means, but I'm Pearl is probably doing more laundry and working on an album.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, that's cool. Lo, what do you think?
Oh, well, I'm a fusion, so I guess I'm fused. I'm like, you know.
Well, do they ever unfuse? Are they doing any of their like fun other activities, like the scouting stuff?
Maybe we're playing Ruby Rider, but like I'm not alone anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, here we are, out in the desert. I'm not alone. We're interdependent, you and me. So maybe the interdependence, maybe fusing, maybe teaching each other how to ground and act each other's rage. Yeah, I don't know how to answer this question. Sorry, I was like, wait, aren't I Garnet now? Like, because the fusion? Like,
Totally fine. That was a great answer. Estelle, what do you think Garnet is up to? Kind of works hand in hand. Oh, you're muted, sweetie. There you go.
Trying to be polite. Not trying to be polite. I don't know. She probably saw what was gonna happen and was like, literally just.
Just sitting there.
Probably just chilling, big chilling. That's the thing I love the most about her is that she's like very much big chilling in all the scenarios and all the ways. Like, no matter what happens, she's like, that's what we did. And even when she's fighting, like Tom was mentioning, I had to like first time doing it, I had to figure out saying all the words, like all the. It's still, to me, when I'm listening back or watching it back, came out real chill in comparison to what was going on in my head while I was doing it. So I just imagine big chilling, like, sure, okay.
Big chilling. I like that.
Whatever. Yeah.
I will say Garnet's like one-liners for the scenes were always like some of the funniest moments. Like everyone is just chaotic and then it's just monotone one line.
This is, I keep pointing it out, but that was all Rebecca and the team because I was like, she's like, nah, just, flatline it. And I was just like, oh, this is great. This is perfect. So when people ask me like, what was your favorite line? I'm like, no. And it's true because it's like it was and again it was quite natural for me because I'm like that in real life, so it didn't help. It didn't hurt. But yeah, I think she'd be big chillin'.
Big chillin'. I like that. Okay,
yeah.
I can see that. Tom, what do you think Greg is up to?
He's probably right where everything started again, and he probably maybe is working at a GameStop or something like just
love that.
Something maybe hanging out at maybe he owns a bowling alley now.
I could see that. Love it. What would he name that bowling alley? Like what would it be called? What do you think?
Strikes and Spares.
Somebody draw that. I love that. Oh, okay, Michaela, what do you think Amethyst is up to?
I feel like I don't know, maybe Amethyst like randomly hit it big with Bitcoin and she's like retired, maybe maybe she's taking a mahjong, Taiwanese mahjong. Like, I feel like she's just living a great retired lifestyle. And yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
But I don't know. Maybe she. I'm now that Tom's like at a GameStop. I wonder if she was like hodling. You know, she was like hodl. I don't know. I don't know what she.
All the above.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so good. Larissa, what do you think Bluebird is up to?
Plotting, scheming, planning. I think Bluebird's got like a big board, you know, that like connects all the little things with the red, and it's just freaking everywhere, and it's a mess. That's the rest of their life is what Bluebird is doing.
They're like that meme of that Charlie guy where he's got like
Oh yeah. All the little things coming out of the head. That one as well. Yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, and then Susan, how do we answer? I guess what is Steven up to? I don't know.
Well, if Rose and or Pink exist on any level, I think the only appropriate thing for them to be up to is community service.
You know what? It's a good answer.
I think community service. Kayla.
With the vest and
Maybe
everything.
it's just picking up trash at the bowling alley, maybe.
For all the pain. For all the pain. For all the pain.
I think it's time to start, having a positive impact.
I like that. That's really
By the way, some of the folks on the chat want to know if we can see the chat, and we can, but we can't comment on it because we're on a different platform, but we see you, and thank you for coming.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. They do see you guys. We all see you, and unfortunately, we're doing this through a different program, so we can see, but they can't actually type anything in response. But yes, we're so happy you're here. Thank you, Susan, for pointing that out. Okay, that was fantastic. We're gonna go back to some individual questions. This one's for Rebecca. Were there any scenes that ended up on the cutting room floor that you wish you'd gotten to include?
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, there were so many. We spent there was this whole bunker episode that we spent like weeks on trying to crack. And I think it's just a sunk cost fallacy thing where I just wish we'd finished it because we put so much time and energy into it. It was like Ronaldo had a bunker, a doomsday bunker, and he like Sadie and Lars both get trapped inside of it, and Steven too, obviously, because we can see that this is going on. They all get stuck in this thing, and there's no way to actually leave. We were working on this for so long. So yeah, I wish we'd gotten it all the way. Because we had spent so much time on it. But often the things that are on the cutting room, like especially since the show ran for so many years, there were so many things on the cutting room floor that evolved and changed into something different. And I love what they became, even if I was really interested in the initial idea. Like the very earliest version of Barnmates was that Sadie was going to go to college and Lapis was going to be her roommate, like in her dorm. And she was just gonna like sleep in her bathtub, and that was just, like a really fun kind of visual that I liked of her just like completely submerged in water, like being like bummed out. But I love what that like the Sadie story that we ended up going with her in the band. I love, and then I love what we ended up being able to do with Lapis. So yeah, some of these things I was attached to enough that they turned into something else that I also am really fond of. I mean, there's some things that, like in the very earliest version of Giant Woman, Steven was actually going to fuse and unfuse into his separated parts that you don't see till episode 162. That was like the 10th episode.
Wow.
So that initial idea of him having like a human self and a gem self that have to fuse back together into himself was one of the earliest ideas on the show. And so was him as his giant pink form that you don't see until Future. That was like a season 1 idea that we all like discussed and ended up saving because we had this idea of sort of a perfect Steven that was this giant fluorescent pink Steven, and everyone was like, but Steven is perfect Steven. That's not perfect Steven. And so these different iterations of perfect Steven kind of evolved into Change Your Mind and evolved into his form in future. So yeah, there was a lot on the cutting room floor, but we also had the opportunity to find a home for many of those ideas in the show in different forms.
Oh wow, that is so cool. That is really, really cool. I mean, of course, Ronaldo has a bunker, so that's not.
Right, yes. You don't even need to see it because you just know. You just know.
No, that is really interesting to know. I'm sure there were so many ideas, but it's cool that, like you said, you got to evolve them into something that did kind of get to still stay. That's really nice. Cool. All right. Okay, now we're gonna get into some selected fan questions. This is by I apologize ahead of time for those watching if I completely butcher your account names. Some of them are very creative. Maki2, yes, would like to know from Dee Dee, in what ways is Pearl special to you?
Well, oh my gosh. I know I keep sci-fi. I feel like a broken record when I say this, but I'm so grateful to have been able to voice a character that was close enough to my voice, because I remember Rebecca saying that she wanted us to have she wanted us to use our natural voices. And then I also remember you saying that you were hoping that these characters would be able to sing. And it was a dream of mine to have been able to voice a cartoon for however long I've been, growing up watching all the cartoons, and then to have been able to sing as a cartoon character. So Pearl was really the first major, voice acting role that I had ever done. And like I said before, there's no way I would have known, what the show was going to be and how successful it was going to be. And, I was just auditioning for everything under the sun at that time, and I was new to voice acting. But one thing that I loved about voicing Pearl is that I got to share with my kids. I connected with the love that Pearl had for Stephen with the love that I had for my own two sons. And at the time when I started voicing Pearl, my kids were 2 and 6. 2 and 8. Sorry, they're 6 years apart. And so for them to sort of be able to watch Steven Universe on the TV and hear mommy's voice, because it was close enough to my natural voice, it was a pretty cool thing to share with my family, especially my kids growing up. And so now they are 13 and 19 years old. So it's crazy to know how long the show has been a part of my life. And again, I'm just so grateful to have been to have been a small part of this beautiful Steven universe. So Rebecca, I'm so grateful.
Oh, that was so sweet. Yeah, that was so cute. That's really, really nice. Wow. Estelle, you got to follow that up. This one comes from Gano Soy. Do you have any fun stories from recording your lines on the show?
I don't know if it's fun more than I always like to say that it's weird that Rebecca, I was going through things in my personal life because I feel like this is a general love story, and it speaks to real life, no matter where you are, no matter how you identify, it really does dig at the core, so I'd be recording lines for Garnet, all right, who's in my house? Who's telling her stuff? Wow. What is she like? You can't tell the future. You have to know it. Things like that. I'll be like, girl, get out of my business. This is a lot. And I love that I could come in with I used to come in with sunglasses on because it's early. It's too early. Artist recording hours was 10 o'clock. 9 was early for me. So I would come in with sunglasses and sweats and be like, let's go. The voice sounds good and deep. Come on. And So you wouldn't see me lightweight crying. She could never see me lightweight crying behind the glasses. But I don't know if that was fun or not. But like looking back on it, I was like, yeah, she's a whisperer. I don't know how she, but the team always had it. And I like to surprise myself. I like to read the scripts when I'm there. So you get a fresh first take instead of being prepared to go in and think about some things instead. I like to kind of just go in and give what they want me to give instead of, so I would be reading it a lot of the times first time in the session. I don't, you didn't know that, Rebecca. First time in the session and be like real reactions as I'm going along, trying to choke down tears like, so yeah, let's say the things. It was a lot of that going on. And then, like I said before, trying to actually say and in different ways. Wow. I stretched my vocals. I had no idea how to say it's real. Like 11 o'clock leaving the session, like, I can't. This is great. It's fine. It was a fun time. Yeah.
Wow. You got to discover all new sounds that you didn't know you could make.
Didn't know I had these range. Didn't know I had this range. Now I know. We good.
Awesome.
Well done.
That's great.
Oh wait, sorry. And with Michaela and Dee Dee and Zach in the early days, we was just doing nonsense. Like, so in between the lines, you had to we had to read things together. Sorry, guys, I'm just going off now. We had to read things together, and these, like, hearing them say their lines in their voices and their respective voices, and then being like, yeah, so like last week I was like, Dee Dee be like, so the kids were and then go back to it, and then Kayla be off here, and I'll just be sitting in the room like, what? It's a glorious life. This is perfect. Like, we're just real regular folk and living. But that to me was just like magic, because it was just like, I've never, again, like Tom said, this is my first one. So being in the room and listening to these incredible voice artists do their thing and being like, was that okay? Was that, and then, like I said, they're switching in between real life and roles. It was comedy to me. It was funny. It was comedy.
That's great. Sounds like good times. Definitely
It
sounds
was.
like good times.
It was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really cool. All right, this next one's from Michaela. It comes from Mal. Which one of your other characters would you say would get along really well with Amethyst?
My other characters in Steven.
Just, I think in general.
Oh yeah, certainly V from the Owl House, I would say. Maybe even Majel from Star Trek Prodigy. I feel like she would be she'd be like, what is this purple being? Like, why do you eat? Where does the food go? Why are you like, I feel like she'd be just fascinated with Amethyst. And I feel like, Amethyst would just thrive on that attention and try to do weird stuff in response to that. So, yeah, but certainly, I don't know. I feel like the shape-shifting, she has that in common with V, and I feel like they'd probably get up to some trouble. Some fun trouble.
Good trouble. Yeah, okay.
Harmless trouble.
Yeah. Harmless trouble. There you go. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's for the fan artists. Would love to see some art of Amethyst and V now. Like, you guys, putting you guys on it. That's cool. Okay. Next one is going to be for Susan. It comes from Glade or Glad, not sure. Do you feel that Rose forgot about Spinel? If not, did she ever think of going back one day? Ooh.
I want to say that a lot was lost in her memory when she became Rose, because then it lets her off the hook slightly. I think Rose was so enamored of what's in front of her in every moment. I think she's very successful at living in the moment, which can be a good quality, but obviously Susan didn't know about all of that when I was recording. Obviously, then that comes out, and like, first of all, Steven Universe is the favorite thing my kids that I've ever done. That my kids just love it. They recently rewatched it again. I was talking with my daughter, who's a senior in high school, her best friend Ryan, Steven Universe is his favorite show of all time. And we were talking about it yesterday. Like, it's so pertinent, but yeah, it's hard to look at that whole aspect of the storyline. So I would like to throw that question to Rebecca Sugar. And mute.
I mean, hey, Rebecca, do you have anything to add that you want to add to that?
About Spinel. Well, so much of the show is about how, and this is something that I think was really ultimately captured in the end credits song. That when you don't think of yourself as someone with power, Pink had so much less power than everyone that was around her. I think, the amount, she didn't understand how much she mattered to other people. And that meant that she did things to them that she didn't really think twice about, because her importance to others didn't register to her. And she also, I think, in feeling that she didn't matter, that radiated out to other people as well. So I think, to her, her relationship to Spinel, Spinel was a sort of a toy to her. And when she saw an opportunity to, I think, to her to grow up and be, what she thought of as a better person, the collateral of that was not registering to her. I will say that the version of Pink in the show is a softened version of what she was originally like, if you can believe it. So, I think that the sympathetic side of that, her own self-depreciation, that was something that grew as we developed the character over time, and I see that influencing a lot of her actions. And in aspiring to be a better person than she felt like she was, that made her the person that she was, if that makes sense.
I will say something that I absolutely love about the show, and I talk about with people, is something that Rebecca brought to it, which is all of these characters are really complex, and it's so easy to make things two-dimensional. And I love the irony of, like, it is two-dimensional, it's animation, but people are complicated, and I think it's something we need to look at in life as well. It's like there can be good that exists with bad in the same person, and as much as I don't want Rose to be constantly remembering what she did as Pink, I also think maybe subconsciously it also informed how many beings she wanted to save as Rose, to maybe even and balance her net existence.
Wow. Well
Right.
said.
Yeah. I personally think of the character as a cautionary tale, if that's of use too.
Wow, that was great. Yeah, I think I definitely think that answers a lot about Pink and Rose just as a character. That was great. Okay, next one we have is interesting a username. It's by Stiff Corpse 00. This was gonna be for Lo. What kind of dates do you think Ruby and Sapphire would go on?
Axe throwing.
That's so accurate.
I've never done that. I don't have when you try to walk through a doorway and then you crash onto the side, that's what happens with me. So I would not do axe throwing personally. Getting some boba, walking, teaching Ruby how to float on their back, so that, because all their anger makes them sink because they're not breathing enough. Teaching Sapphire how to embrace their inner rage by just screaming into pillows. Yeah, just a lot of like swinging one way and then the other way. Yeah.
Can they go to a rage room? Where you like, have you ever been to those?
I've been to one.
They're amazing.
I wanted to, but they're so expensive. And then I thought, could I just do that like in my backyard? But who wants to clean that the mess.
No, I think what you do is you
Pearl.
go, and I think it's tax deductible for you because it's the character. It's just research.
Okay.
It's a write-off.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna do that then and take a date there.
Plus, like, it is pretty like exhausting. So you really don't need that much time in there. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I know they offer longer sessions, but like, I mean,
25
half an
minutes,
hour
pretty
tops.
good. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could smash so many fax machines in a half an hour.
I feel like if Ruby and Sapphire played paintball, you would think that Ruby would be like all into it, but I think they would be running from Sapphire. I think they'd be the one who was all bruised up. Maybe
Sapphire would probably see like all the outcomes of where Ruby would be hiding or popping up, and just every time Ruby thinks they have the upper hand, Sapphire's just like, bloop.
yeah, like Ruby's rage is getting in the way, and Sapphire's coldness is just like seeing it all through.
That's fantastic. I will say I do recommend the Rage Room. I have tried it myself, and we did a cool package where like they included like computer screens, and then you could bring a box of whatever you wanted. So I went to like the dollar store and bought a bunch of glass stuff, which in hindsight probably that's not cool because you're just destroying product, but it was a lot of fun. And you just like got to just shatter it. So anybody thinking about doing it, highly recommend.
What is fax machine?
Oh, we could get into real grave detail with that one. Oh man. Okay. I'm just gonna go to the next question. I don't know how to even properly answer that. This is gonna be for Tom, and it's from Galaxy Universe. Spelled in a really cool way, actually. What was your reaction to Greg getting his hair cut, and were you just as upset?
No, I was able to deal with it in a measured way. No, I just like, look, Greg was always coming from a different place than everybody else in a way. So it was always like interesting when his changes seemed to be different than everybody else's changes, because his would be getting a haircut or getting rich, and everybody else's was huge and cosmic. But that's kind of made sense to me because that's how I felt anyway. Anything with Greg was just I related to Greg probably more than I should admit to. So
That's fair. That's cool.
That was another really early, like, we have drawings from like 2013 of Greg with the short hair, because someone sacrificing their hair in a battle was like a thing we always knew we wanted to do. Since super early on. It took us, I think, like 6 or 7 years to get there, but we eventually did.
Wow, no way. It's very, very symbolic too, to see that with Greg. I remember when I first saw it, I gasped. I was like, no, not the luscious hair. What? Oh, it was hurtful. It was almost as bad as when like Flynn cuts Rapunzel's hair at the end of Tangled. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Almost. I think it actually beat that. Actually, Greg's hair getting cut beat that. Surprise. All right, and then this one is going to be for Larissa. I'm not sure how to pronounce this username. It's got numbers and letters, but they ask, how do you think Aquamarine and Eyeball met, and what was it like when they fused for the first time?
Oh, wow. I knew that I'd get something that I couldn't answer. I am going to answer, but I also want to say I think it was a little bit mean to put me immediately after Tom's question. So it just reminded everyone how much they freaking hated Bluebird. Because I think that was the moment that everyone was like, oh, what is this character? This is really cool. Hair got cut and was like, no, out. I refuse to engage with that character ever, ever. So thank you for your lovely answer, Tom, and saying it was cool. Thank you. I don't know. Ugh. If I had to say anything, it might be like just a little existential, and that it's like, when you meet someone and you just get that ball of energy inside you, and you don't know whether it's good or bad, or just sometimes, I don't know, I get this, that I meet people and I just have this sense, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with this person, but there's something. And I would like to think that that was that kind of energy that evolved, and it could go either way. Unfortunately, it didn't go in the most helpful emotional way, but it yeah, I think it was just that moment attraction that no one can quite explain.
Ooh, interesting.
Rebecca?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did talk about this. We had sort of discussed in the writers' room, you know, once Steven's influences being felt on Homeworld, that the all the gems that are kind of on the wrong side of history would end up there, you know, whether they were higher status like Aquamarine or lower status like Eyeball, would kind of pool into an out group that doesn't really fit in with the way that their society is heading, and eventually, you know, meet to be frustrated about that, because they had been, you know, on the you know, everything they had done made sense in the way that Homeworld had been structured before Steven came in and kind of changed all the rules. So yeah, we also loved to explore, you know, different types of fusions, different types of collaborations, and one that was born out of frustration and spite was something that we wanted to explore, because it wasn't really something that we had shown yet.
Oh, cool. I was gonna say it's kind of really the opposite of Garnet's, you know, fusion and unity. Really, it's, you know, so that's cool. We got to see like an opposite version of what that kind of fusion would be like. That's great. Okay, we're going to now just the next 3 questions are going to be all questions. So everybody will go. We might actually do, you know what? We'll start this next one backwards. We'll start with Susan and we'll work our way up for this next all question. This one is from Try Not to Happen. They would like to know, which scene was the hardest for you to record?
Oh, not for a bad reason. Rose isn't in a whole lot. So all of my scenes, like, I really remember each time going into that recording booth. I know the very like after first season with Whale, then the first thing I ever recorded as Rose was the VHS tape. And that monologue, it's the first time I've ever played a character who was a mother, and so that just spoke to my heart. Like in the way that you were talking, Michaela, about what you were going through, looking for your parents, right? Your biological parents at the same time. Life in art is always like that. There's always something in the character you're playing that can teach you something about your life in that moment. And there's always something that's going on in your life that makes you uniquely qualified to play that character in that scene. And I felt like I read that monologue. I was in the green room, Rebecca. I don't even know if you know this. And it made me weep. It made me cry. And I kind of had to pull myself together, because Rose is very joyful in that delivery, right? She's excited to speak to her future progeny. And yeah, but it was so like how you cut to the core of what it means to be a parent and how much love there is for that child is all infused in that monologue. And it still makes me weepy. And it's been how many years? It's one of my favorite things I've ever had the chance to do, was that monologue. And I think we did it like in 2 takes and it was over. It was just, but I loved it. And then I would say the other things that I loved were the scenes with Dee Dee, with Rose and Pearl, where you finally know what happened and how Rose became Rose and how Pearl took the fall, like that whole relationship between Rose and Pearl, and the love between them, and the betrayal of Rose to Pearl, I just think was hard and wonderful.
Wow, that's really sweet. Well, not the hard part, the first part with the yeah. Okay, yeah, so instead of doing the left to right, we'll do right to left. So Larissa, what same question for you. Which scene was the hardest for you to record, if there was one? Oh, you're mic'd, sweetie. I mean, you're muted, sweetie.
Yeah, because I'm a voice actor who knows how to use a microphone. Like a similar thing where it's the scene where Bluebird, you know, was kind of revealing the backstory of why they felt the way they felt, because I think it's too easy. I think, again, like the complexity of the characters in this show is so beautiful, and the hate isn't just I hate because someone did this or someone said that, but a lot of people are grounded in a very real space of hurt that can really never be fixed no matter what happens. And so kind of having to recreate that and not hate the character but love the character because of how much pain they were in was difficult but incredible as well, you know, when you so
for sure. That sounds really, really incredible that you got to have that experience voicing this character, you know. Such a small little thing, but you know, they definitely had an impact. Okay, Michaela.
You know, I think the hardest scenes were probably towards the end, because I knew that the show was coming to an end. And just, you know, we were just like cherishing every moment together. So that was hard. I also do remember 2016, the day after the election. That was a hard day. I remember everybody was really just distraught. And I remember there was like a group hug at the end, and it felt like in a time of such uncertainty, it really gave me so much solace to know like we had each other and we had art and we had ways of, you know, like still expressing ourselves. And but that's I do that day sticks out to me. I don't remember the exact episode, but I remember the day after the election. So, yeah.
All right. How about you, Tom?
I guess for me, it would be a little different of an answer, because like for me, the songs were the part I would get really worked up about, because if people don't know the process, for me at least, it would be that I would get sent a demo that Rebecca recorded. I would get like the night before, and it's the trickiest song you've ever heard in your life, where nothing happens twice in it, like nothing repeats in it. And I would be driving into New York City, not the state, New York City, from New Jersey. And I would be just like listening. I would listen to the song for just hours all morning and everything, just to get ready. So I had it in my head. And then I would just be so nervous doing the songs, because they just like, I didn't want the whole recording session to be me just going through a song word by word and line by line, because there was actual other things to record then. So generally the songs were the big thing I was hung up on, and I would try to do the songs first, then do things where I spoke normally next, and then do the things where I yelled at the end, because if we did them out of order, I would not have a voice for the songs, because every session ended up with me screaming Stephen top of my lungs over and over, to where I was just like, can't we like have Control S, just hit just when you need to record, when it needs to say Stephen at the top of my lungs? I think we have that somewhere in the vault of sessions. No, but the songs are also so special, and I wanted to do right by what Rebecca and everybody was trying to accomplish with them, because it is a tricky thing to have songs that are so dense and elaborate and meaningful and carry so much of the story through music woven into a show. And I just didn't want to let Rebecca down. And she said I did over and over.
But... no, you were so great.
Oh my God.
All right. How about you, Estelle?
Honestly, I would say that there weren't a lot of hard moments in the show, and I would attribute that to Rebecca and the team. They did such a good job of like walking us through everything. Again, this is my very first voiceover gig, right? And so, you know, I just wanted to do everything great. So my approach to it was just to like lean back and just say, what do you need from me? Is that correct? Is this the right direction? Is this the right lane? Are we doing this? And that made it a heck of a lot easier. And you know, the team were like very clear, like, yeah, no, don't do that. Try like this, or, you know. And so it was a lot easier in that. And then again, it was fun. Like it wasn't. Like of course, like I said before, like the and the like trying to figure that lane out in my vocal range was like, whoa, this is new. Sounds like I feel like I've done a show for an hour, but you know, it wasn't necessarily hard or technical. It was just like, oh, something else to discover, and now I have to treat this differently and go home and drink tea at 11 a.m. instead of after the show. You know, like it's just an adjustment like that. But other than that, no, it was good. You know, as Michaela said, we were all going through real life at the same time as we were recording this show, and different things were happening in the world that absolutely impacted how we walked in. But you walk in and it was like we're back in a bubble, and we can do this art, we can do this thing that we love, and with really good guidance, you know. So it wasn't terrible, man. It was a good time. I don't know, for me, you know.
That's great. Yeah. That's really cool. What about you, Lo?
The Ruby Rioter episode was both the funnest and the hardest for me. I was like, oh, cool. I've always wanted to play a cowboy. And then also I was going through a divorce. So leading up to the parts where I was like asking Sapphire to marry me, I remember when I was delivering the lines, I started crying because it was like the opposite was happening in my life. And then no one saw that. And they're like, can you do it again and be a little more emotional? And I was like, I'm crying, but my voice is dead inside. Shit. I don't think anyone knew I was crying, because I think also I'm like quite shy when I'm like recording. I'm like, okay, let me do it again, and so that was really hard emotionally and rewarding. It was really cathartic to do. And then there was this other moment. I never really met the other cast except for one episode, the baseball episode, and I had to do the voice of all the Rubies. And I'm again like pretty shy, so I'm like, everyone's like done voiceover before, but I'd never done voiceover before. So like everyone's like, I'm doing the voice, and then I was like, I'm Doc, and I'm Amy, and I was like, oh my god, I feel so crazy, and I'm sweating, and I kept taking off my clothes. I was like trying to be like 5 voices. I don't know how many of us there are of me, but I was like, and everyone just watching me, and I was like, oh my god, can we never do this again? I was like the new kid in school, like with multiple different personalities. I was like, oh my god, that was so stressful. I was like, I just want the kids to think I'm cool.
Oh, that's
I'm sorry, for what it's worth, I remember that record and you had lines. You were talking to yourself in different characters, and I was like, you gave like a master class in like how to be 800 different characters all in one. Your insecurities did not show whatsoever. I thought you were a pro. Sorry. And like hilarious also.
Thank you. I was like, I'm the new kid. I was like, oh no, I was never invited to hang out. But also, this is for the best because I get really, I'm neurodivergent, so it's like overstimulating to do like 5 voices around like other people. I'm like, nice to meet you. Okay, good job. Goodbye, everyone. But yeah, for sure.
No, you did great. You did absolutely great. Good for you. Okay, Dee Dee.
Cute.
There we
Sorry.
go.
I loved receiving Rebecca's demo recordings before having to sing a song in the show. First of all, that's one of my favorite things that I got to do in Steven Universe, is to be able to sing her songs. I actually want the album of all of Rebecca's recordings for all of the songs. Like that's what I want. That's what I want. So that was so fun and special. To receive the song also, like I remember getting script Monday to prepare for, if I chose to prepare, or if not, then recording on Wednesday. So we got to sit with the songs, we got to sit with the script, and then kind of play around with. But I heavily depended on Rebecca and whoever was voice directing that time. I think couple of the hardest things for me to do was the really, really wordy scripts of like really long, $5, not $5, $10 words that I probably would not use naturally in my, normal speaking. So those were difficult for me. Also, the screaming, I relate to what Tom said, doing the screaming at the end of the session, the singing at the beginning, the speaking in the middle. And then, gosh, yeah.
No, solid answer. Rebecca, for you, I guess the question could be, was there what was the scene hardest for you to write?
Hardest to write. There were gosh. There are so many. We would because it was a storyboard driven show, the script was in flux, basically until we were ready to animate. We were still working with the dialogue, and I remember there was a back and forth. Oh, I'm sorry. There's yard work going on next door. Is that super loud? It was in the episode with the potluck. When Lars never shows, Sadie has some dialogue as she's walking down the street with Steven about him. I feel like we did 1,000 drafts of it, and a lot of her story. Like, there's like this, matryoshka of people struggling with their self-worth in the show. It's just like reflected in all these different characters. Sometimes people are talking about themselves or seeing it in someone else. That we wrote and rewrote so many times. The song "Familiar," I think I made like 5 versions of it. I just kept, that was it was such a long path to, get to Stephen grappling with, being in Rose and Pink's shoes, and by that episode, it's very literal. That was really challenging. Penn Ward, the creator of Adventure Time, was boarding that episode, and we were sending versions of that song back and forth because he did a huge amount of that sequence. That was really challenging. But I think the biggest challenge was tracking a serialized storyline in a storyboard-driven show where each artist has a huge amount of control over their episode, but there's an ongoing storyline, an ongoing arc happening over 100 episodes. That was its own challenging macro puzzle. So when I think about these sort of micro puzzles of speeches, Rose's speech was something that we really poured over, and we wanted it to be very layered. The more you learn about her, what she was saying to him and what she was meaning, so we always had to kind of jump from micro to macro. Is this one line encapsulating what you're going to learn 60 episodes from now about this person? That was just a challenge every time.
Wow. All right. This is going to be our last question. It is one last all question. We will start with Susan again and work our way up. It is by Caught Moonlight. If you could play any other gem, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh, but I could never, ever. We all love Garnet. She's just like, don't we all want to be Garnet? We do. Over at our house, we just want to be Garnet, but could never. It had to be Estelle. But I mean, we can aspire.
That is such a solid answer. Valid. Okay, Larissa, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, ditto. 100%. 100%. And then granted, not a gem, but I'm really obsessed with Lion. I just want to be Lion constantly.
That's fair. How about you, Michaela?
Oh, Peridot all the way.
Yeah,
Peridot, yeah.
I could totally see that. How about you, Tom? Would you want to voice a gem?
I can't do that. I'm just a slob, and I did the voice of a slob. And these things are all out of my reach, so I'm just I know where I live.
Oh, I love that. How about you, Estelle?
I'm gonna go turbocharged Paradox because like I feel like she says all the things that are like in Garnet's brain. Like Garnet's like, you know what, it's not worth it. No. Paradox be like, absolutely not. And you and listen and just spicy with it. And I just feel like she appreciate the outlet. So Paradox. Yeah. Spicy Garnet. Paradox.
I like that. Garnet would be the one like they got the wrong food, they would just be chill about it. But Peridot would be like, no, you got the order wrong. Fix it.
I would like this ain't hot. These fries are cold.
Yeah.
Get the hot fries.
Take it back
Gonna be
and
like,
take it off the receipt.
they're gonna bring these fries cold and we're just gonna be fine. And Perda be like, hey, I'm gonna need my fries hot. Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
great.
maybe Perda.
Okay. Lo, how about you?
I choose Greg.
Oh,
I choose Greg. Instantly, when you asked that question, I was like, Greg. Obviously, Greg. I don't think of him as a slob. I think, I don't know, the world should be more relaxed and more accessible.
so,
That's
yeah,
it.
valid.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such a nice answer.
I don't mean slob in a bad way either. I just own my slobbiness.
Oh yeah, I'm a slob too, though. That's why I was like, I like my slobbiness. I'm like, I'm scrappy, I'm sloppy. Agreed.
That's great. Dee Dee, how about you?
This is a hard question. I so love voicing Pearl and all of the Pearls. And everybody else I feel is it would be so hard to voice everybody else. I can't imagine anybody voicing somebody else, you know? But yeah, no comment.
Okay, Rebecca, and we will end it with you. Is there any of your characters that you would love to voice?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, early on, I decided to take a back seat and not be, the not cast myself. I love being sort of in the director role. I put a lot of myself into so many of the characters, and I think too that let me be, have a presence in all of the different ones. But one of the things that I'm really grateful for, because I didn't really see myself in a voice acting capacity. My former storyboard partner Adam Mudo on Adventure Time asked me to do the voice of Marceline's mother because I had been involved in developing the character, so it was amazing to do. It was like really fun to voice act and be inside the booth, and I was like, oh yeah, like it's like, oh, so this is the feeling of getting a note, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it, again, and that was really fun and illuminating. But also the composers, Stephen and Ivy, the Steven Universe composers asked me to sing the end credit song, which I wasn't planning on doing, and I'm really grateful that they did, because I think that it's really a reflection of so many of the characters that I had got to write for are embodied in the lyrics of that song, which I got to write. They had written the melody, and I'm really grateful that they asked me to sing it. So those are my small forays into voice acting.
I love that.
My favorite song.
Yeah, it's so good. It really is. Okay, well, to sign off, we'll go in order. We'll start with Rebecca, work our way down. We'll do left to right. If you guys have any projects going on, if you want to share your socials, just do like a quick little sign off where people can find you, and if you have anything new for them to look forward to.
Gosh. I'm working on a bunch of things I'm excited about that I can't talk about yet. But for now, uh, last year I released my first independent album, and so much of that was because of the people on this call that said such encouraging things about my demos. I did not ever think I'd be, writing and releasing original music that I sing, and I'm so grateful. I'm like Estelle has helped me so much as a musician, and the encouragement from you and from like I remember Estelle a few like years ago when you said that I should tour, and I was like, what? That's I can't even. That's wild. And Susan, you said such kind things to me, and Dee Dee, and all of you. And Lo, we were like trading, like texting songs back and forth. I mean, that's just I would not have been able to make that personal album without the encouragement of the people on this call. And I'm just so blown away. Tom had me on his radio show, which is like my favorite show, which is why I was so excited to work together. So humbling. It's called Spiral Bound. It's just a little EP, but I'm incredibly grateful to have been encouraged to do that. And what I love about it, I come from independent comics, and putting out my own little album, it's the most I've felt like I haven't released something independent really since the show started. And so the support for it has just blown me away. It's on Spotify, and yeah, so if you check it out, it's called Spiral Bound, and I'd love to do more stuff like that. So thank you to everyone who supported my personal music.
Oh, that's so great. You guys heard it. Spiral Bound. Go get it right now. Go check it out. That's awesome. Dee Dee, you have anything?
Yes, I love that album, Rebecca. Love your voice, and I'm still waiting for that, the you sing the songs of Steven Universe album. Yes, to follow. Just putting it out there. I am currently doing some recurring voices on a show called Kiss. That's on the Disney Channel. And I am currently singing worship, praise and worship at our church here in Las Vegas. So if you're ever around, come on by. I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Everybody tunes into Steven Universe, all of the love that you have just shown throughout the years. And I just would say, spread love, spread joy, spread kindness to all. Love you guys.
Very, very sweet. Lo, anything to sign off with?
I'm part of a show named Stugo that's supposed to come out soon on Disney. I get to play a little boy named Larry who's shirtless. And as like a gender fluid person who's like identifies by they, them, even he, I was like, yes! And I was like, do I change my voice? They're like, no, your voice is perfect. I'm like, yes!
That's fantastic.
Just plugging the sunsets. Sunsets happen earlier now. Catch it while you can because depression is hitting. So plugging the sunsets.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations, by the way, on that role. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Estelle, you got anything new going on?
Yeah. Sunsets, I'm with it. Perfect. Yeah, I have new music finally after 6 years. New albums coming top of next year. I have 2 singles out right now. Speaking of sunsets, This Is Sunshine. The first one's called OI, second song's called Fire. Yeah, we're speaking to light and joy this year, no matter what's trying to encroach on our light and our joy. That's where we're going for light and joy. So listen to these records if you feel a bit like, it might lift your energy. I also have my radio show, The Estelle Show, on Apple Music 5 days a week. It's vibes. That's what we do over here. So tune in on Apple Radio, and it's also on demand. We talk to artists and do all the things. Rebecca's been on the show. It's been a good time. And you can also catch that episode on demand. And other than that, yeah, I'm having a good time. Just having a good time, living my best life.
Just big chill.
Big chilling.
Big chilling,
baby. Yeah, next year we go out on the road. So album comes and we back outside. So yeah, and in between that, voice acting, doing my thing, auditioning, live my best life.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How about you, Tom?
Oh, well, I do my radio show every week called The Best Show, and it's a podcast radio thing. And I do that, and I'm still doing that. and I started on another book. I wrote a book a few years ago, and I just started on another one this month. So that's probably about 11 years away from being completed. So check it out in 2038.
Woo!
I don't know, just writing a bunch and working on TV stuff and just kind of bouncing around doing whatever happens. So yeah, I live in LA and now I have fun here.
Nice. Good for you.
Thank you.
How about you, Michaela?
Same boat as Rebecca. I'm working on a bunch of pretty exciting stuff right now, of which I can't really talk about. But it's also like tangerine season, like trees going off. So I've been harvesting like a moaf. Yeah, getting that vitamin C and that vitamin D. Yeah.
Solid.
Nutrients.
Staying healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nutrients.
Yeah.
Take your vitamins, everybody.
Yeah.
Not just the kids.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? I hope it flourishes and that you get the most tangerines this year for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Larissa? Oh, your mic, sweetie.
Hi everyone. I just got back from Japan and I'm doing everything I can every minute to find my way back there. I've got, I'm do a lot of video games, so I've got some video games coming out, but again, can't talk about that. I actually I'm working with a startup, which is called Ethovox, which is all about protecting voice actors in the age of AI. So if AI is freaking you out as a voice actor, come talk to us. We'd love to find ways to protect your voice, run by voice actors rather than Silicon Valley. So it's just something that I'm very passionate about, and it's coming whether we want it or not. So let's do the best we can to make it work in our favor. I also wanted to, like Dee Dee, my character appeared, I think someone said, for a total of 2 minutes on this show, or in terms of actual screen time. The fandom that I got from that, Liam and David and Bluebird Nation, I couldn't be more grateful for. I can only imagine what it's like for the rest of you. I'm so grateful to be here today. So this is bringing love and joy and everything into my life. So thank you, Rebecca. Thank you all for having me here. Thank you, Streamily. This is awesome. Susan.
First off, Larissa, brava, and thank you. AI is definitely a new world. I produce live concert content primarily for Disney worldwide. So that's been really great. I love getting behind the scenes. I love creating jobs for other people. I love bringing joy. And we've been, I don't know, the concerts I've done the last 5 years, we've been in 18 countries on 5 continents. I wrote shows for the Hollywood Bowl last year and the year before, and probably another one this year. So, you know, living my best life on that side of it, and love being behind the scenes. It's fun, Rebecca, huh? I like it. I really like being, you know, on this side of it. And writing new stuff. So really grateful for the fandom here, and really grateful to have been part of this show, which has had such a beautiful impact and opened conversation on our world. And so really lucky to be here.
Oh, that's really sweet. Well, congratulations to all of you guys. May all the projects and things you're doing just work out and grow in fruition, and that you guys enjoy it. I want to say thank you so much to everybody who has been watching. Thank you for participating, hanging out, just supporting these guys and supporting the show. And thank you guys for being here, taking the time to just, you know, share your lovely thoughts and bring some joy to the world. Thank you to Andrew working in the behind the scenes. He's doing all the tech, and thank you to Streamily for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. If you guys that are watching want any awesome prints signed by these cast members and crew members, the link is in the description. It's also being shown right there. They will be doing live streams to do these signings live. And then also, this was just actually part 1 of this lovely event. We will be doing part 2 on Monday. So come back to the channel. That one will be at 2:00 p.m. Eastern time. I will be rejoined by some of these folk, and then we will also be getting some other cast members for that one as well. So hope you guys join for that. Other than that, thank you all again so much. Hope everybody has a lovely day, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.